Hey, yo, what up, hoes? This is Taylor, and you guys requested adamantly more videos about high school stories, and so here we are. I'm going to do one. If you guys appreciate this and you want more, please do me a favor and rate or favorite or comment or whatever the hell you want to do. All three, perhaps. Multifaceted attack of productivity on my video. Thank you. So, this story begins sophomore year of high school, and I was in a study hall class first hour, and you may be thinking, study hall, Taylor? Now how can anything conceivably interesting come out of a study hall? It's not even a class. And that's exactly right, it's not even a class, but that didn't stop my high school from having a full-time position for this woman to just watch kids in study hall. And I kid you not, her responsibilities consisted of taking roll call, and pushing a cart of computers around, of laptops around that the students would use in study hall, because the study hall class would change depending on what classrooms were available at the time. And that was her entire job. That was all she had to do, is that. And every day, she would have another student read go over the roll call. Sometimes she would do the roll call, but I would probably say 50% of the time it was a student who did it. And 100% of the time, she would have another student pushed the cart for her, because it was a very big cart and she was a small woman. And that's not anything against her, but if you can't perform any of the tasks required for a job, then don't take the job. Like, just why? Why would you do this? Like, that's like me applying to be a garbage man and then on the first day showing up and being like, whoa, what the shit is this? This is disgusting. I'm a germaphobe, guys. I can't be a garbage man. You're going to have to take care of me and still pay me for this job that I'm completely and totally inept and don't actually provide any substance. And that's all she did. And she would spend more time every morning distracting us than just letting us do work. Like, if you're going to have a study hall teacher, the best thing that they could do is just sit on their ass and shut their mouth and let you do your work. But no, every morning, because I had it first hour, she would spend 10 to 15, sometimes 20 minutes. The longest one ever that I recorded was like 22 minutes or so, a devotion, like a prayer time. And she would spend an inordinate amount of time on these things, always doing it, and she would get pissed if you would do homework in study hall while she was doing these devotions. And so I would come into class every day, sit down, and then begin my Algebra 2 homework, because I had Algebra 2 second hour, and it was right after first hour study hall, and so I would never do my homework the night before. I would just say, oh, I'll do it in study hall first hour. There's no reason to do it the night before when you have time. And so I would always immediately open my book and start doing work when I got into study hall. The thing that you should probably freaking do if you're in a goddamn study hall class. And every day without fail, she would tell me to put my things away because the Holy Spirit told her that devotions and prayer were more important than homework. Now, let me just go over that one more time with you. Let me just say what she would tell me. She would tell me, Taylor, the Holy Spirit is telling me that you need to pay attention to this devotion because it could really impact your life. And it's like, what do you even say to that? Like, you can't really get mad at her about it because she's hiding herself behind the Holy Spirit. Like, that's like me saying to her, like, teacher, a bunch of goblins just told me that you have a fat ass and that you're retarded. But don't get mad at me. Those are the goblins saying it. I'm just relaying the message. Like, that's exactly what it is. And that's the bittersweet aspect, not bittersweet, entirely bitter aspect of this, is that she would put up this front where she'd be like saying, like, oh, the Holy Spirit told me this, or oh, I really feel internally convicted about this, or something like that, so that she wasn't personally responsible for any of the mean things she'd say. Or not so much mean, but just absolutely ridiculous and crazy. And there were times when she would say mean and ridiculous things, but I don't want to focus on that because deep down I think she's a good woman. She's just crazy and... this isn't crazy like, oh, that crazy bitch of an ex-girlfriend. This is crazy like you're a legitimately crazy person who should probably not be in a room with a bunch of kids. And so eventually, I got tired of this because I had late homework all the time because I wouldn't have enough time to do my assignment in study hall. Because really what you want to do in study hall is get your fucking assignments done, is what this lady couldn't understand. And so eventually it got to the point where one day, I had a game plan and I walked in. And as always, she was doing her devotion. And I opened my book, as with every other day, and immediately she says, Taylor, the Holy Spirit is telling me that you shouldn't be doing homework right now because it's devotion time. And without missing a beat, I said, actually, Miss Degnan, I had a long talk with the Holy Spirit this morning, and he told me that he's very disappointed by the fact that I haven't put 100% effort into my math homework recently, so I'd really like to have this time alone with the Holy Spirit to do my math. And that's all that I said. That's all that I said to her, and her face just dropped. It went absolutely just pale white, because it was like she realized that her little trick to handle any social situation at this private school of just claiming the Holy Spirit told her to do something, or, oh, she has a deep inner conviction, it was all gone. Because she couldn't look at me and tell me, hey, Taylor, your communication with the Holy Spirit isn't valid, only mine is. Because there's no way to analyze it. There's no way to know who's fucking talking to a spirit and doing that stuff. And so she just had to sit there every day for the rest of the semester, and anytime she asked, I would told her that I was very busy and that the Holy Spirit was breathing on the back of my neck trying to get this done, you know what I'm saying? And so it was a fun time in that particular class, just being able to make jokes like that. But when push comes to shove, sometimes a joke is the only way to get out of something. But one more really funny thing that happened in that same class that was even more ridiculous than that was I was coming in late one day, and the way that I was coming in late, I just happened to be walking up with myself and then 4 girls in my grade who happened to be in the same study hall. And as we were walking in, I opened the door to the study hall room, and she was already praying. I could hear that. She was doing her prayers and everything, and everybody had their heads bowed or whatever. And these kids, myself and these girls, start walking in, but I am holding the door open for them. And so I hold the door open for all 4 of these girls, and they walk in and sit down. And as I let go of the door to close it, and the girls have already sat down, or at least a couple of them, they'd started to sit down. Anyone who's not retarded could tell that they just didn't come in. She told me explicitly that I was late. And I said, but your eyes were closed, how would you know that? And then she said, the Holy Spirit told me you were late. And then I said, all right, well, did the Holy Spirit tell you what other people came in while you were praying? And then she said, no, nobody else came in. And I was like, oh, looks like the Holy Spirit's getting a little bit lazy, Miss Degnan, because, 4 other people came in. Do you want to take a guess? And then she incorrectly guessed the 4 people and ended up that none of us were late because she was wrong, and everybody just kind of made her bite the bullet and admit that she was being a ridiculous bigot who was just trying to get out and send me to the office because I was late a lot because, I didn't really wake up early very well. And so our policy was like if you were late a certain amount of times, you had to go to the office. And she was always out to get me, trying to send me to the office. But, yep, that's all that happened there. If you guys want more of these kind of stories involving crazy people at my high school, that would be awesome. Or just maybe leave a rating, Wouldn't kill you. It wouldn't kill you, would it? Click that favorite button or whatever you have to do to favorite, the little down tab. Huh?